So, good evening.
Good evening.
I hope you've had a good day. Maybe you've had a bad day. Aren't sometimes those days we can't tell the difference. The good news is God's been with you the whole time. And maybe in the next half hour you'll have a chance to be with God. Because I imagine today, school, work, we get busy. And it's hard to become aware of God. God's aware of us all the time. The challenge is us being aware of God. And that's sort of the whole hope and purpose of this meditation. So in a minute, we will begin with a little video reflection to help us focus. Just sort of two foods of thought. One is, obviously, we're in Holy Week. And the early Christians used to actually call this the Great Week. And even though this week is different than all others, the hope is that, we're not just remembering something that happened 2,000 years ago, but we're living it. The Christ is bigger than the man Jesus. Jesus was the Christ, but the Christ existed before Jesus came to the earth and was born of the Virgin Mary. And Christ, as we know, continues to exist even after his death. Not only resurrected in heaven, but the Christ is in all of us. And I hope you find some time during this week to really stop. And one thing I do in the morning is when I bring my kids to school, I find a space and I close my eyes and I just walk. And I notice when I close my eyes and I walk, I slow down. I start to feel the wind. I start to feel the sun. I hear things clearer, and it really grounds me. And maybe since there's so few of us today, I didn't try it in the earlier meditation, but I might actually invite you at one point with your eyes closed to literally get up and to walk slowly, carefully. And just to hopefully heighten your senses. Because once again, God is not just something we see. In fact, it's very hard to see God, literally. But you could feel God. You could sense God. You could hear God. And the second thing is, I've been sharing resources throughout the meditation with people. Father Ken Lash is a cousin of mine. He's in his 80s, and he's semi-retired. But he still writes a weekly homily, and he posts it on the internet. And if you search him, his last name is spelled Lasch, you could subscribe to it. So every week on Sunday morning, you get a homily. And I just love the way he opens it up. It's so comprehensive. It's so in-depth. His spirituality and his wisdom of his years of being a man walking the faith journey just educates me all the time. In fact, this opening song that we're going to listen to, this song I got from him. And it's called The Christ Hymn. And hopefully it's something that uses poetry, music, and art. Which these are things that you can't always just think about. You have to experience. And that's what prayer is meant to be, an experience. As I tell people, you go to church all you want, you could pray all the roses you want, but if it's not an experience, a connection to God, something's missing. What's the point of saying 5 decades of a rosary or going to church every single day if it doesn't connect you to God? So we have to find ways to be connecting God in this holy space, but we also got to find ways to connect with God through our daily, ordinary lives. And I hope music, poetry, art, walking, all connects you to God. So we're going to begin slowly, as we always do, with the sign of the cross in a very slow, deliberate way. And I'm going to ask you, don't close your eyes initially because we're going to go straight into this opening song. So we'll just begin with our signing of the cross. And on Easter Sunday, we're going to hear these bells ringing a lot. And we take in a deep breath. And we put our hands on our forehead and we say, in the name of the Father. And then we bring our hands slowly over our hearts and take in another deep breath. And we say, in the name of the Son.
In the
and we complete the sign of the cross by bringing our hands to our left shoulder and our right shoulder and taking in a deep breath and saying, in the name of the Holy Spirit, amen. So sit, listen, watch, and hopefully feel the God who is with us and in us.
From spanning galaxies to spinning quarks, everything holds together and coheres, unfolding from the center whence it came. And now, that hidden heart of things appears. The firstborn of creation takes a name. And shall I see the one through whom I am? Shall I behold the one for whom I'm made? The light in light, the flame within the flame, icon to fame, image of my God. He comes, a little child, to bless my sight, that I might come to him for life and light.
In whom all things hold together. In whom all things hold together.
And when we had invented death, had severed every soul from life, we made of these our bodies sepulchres. And as we wandered, dying dim among the dying multitudes, he acquiesced to be interred in us. And when he had descended thus into our persons and the grave, he broke the limits, opening the grip. He shaped of every sepulchre a womb.
Seen God on the ground, palms pressed the floor, sweat dripping on the dirt, the cut and stretch of being human, a sacred shelter of presence, the fullness of He, creator of kingdoms and galaxies, of principalities, and every moment crafted through time, the divine placed wholly in human flesh, the infinite squashed down into finite, like fitting 10,000 angels on the top of a pin, like the entire ocean is poured into a pool, like the wine is running over, like it's bursting at the seams. The Christ, he was bursting at the seams.
In whom all things hold together. In whom all things hold together.
Anticipating long stretches of nothingness, we plunge south into California on I-5, prepared to be bored, uninterested in the view and a bit worried that we too may commit to monotony. But then over us, clouds contribute their lenticular magnitude to the two-dimensional, carved by winds into streamlined eagles or spacecraft or B-52s. I take sky photos through the windshield, admitting that in spite of anonymity, there is never nothing. Required to obey gravity, we occupy open space with substance. All of us on the skin of the planet, created to lift against the Earth's pull, yet sustained entirely. We live out our singularity along with olive and almond trees, oleanders, tarmac, huge trucks, until size becomes irrelevant. Smoke blue coastal range, stem of dry grass, brittle eucalyptus leaf, pebble ground into the ground. Each bears love's print, is held particular within the universe. Even the small, soft moth on the window of the rest area's dingy washroom, unaware of our scrutiny, its russet wings traced with intricacies of grey, owns an intrinsic excellence.
In whom all things hold together. 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 In whom all things hold together.
So I invite you to close your eyes. Of course, at any time, if you can't understand what I'm saying, you can open up your eyes briefly to look, and then invite you to close them again. So we begin, as we've been beginning through all these different weeks, becoming mindful of our breathing in slowly through our nose, and exhaling out of our mouths. And once again, breathing slowly in through our nose and exhaling out through our mouth. And not only are we doing this to become mindful of our breathing and hopefully getting us to focus, today we reflect on God, in whom all things come together, and realize that every time we breathe in God's creation, which hence we breathe in God. And when we exhale out, we are now contributing God into the world through us. So breathe in more, because I don't know about you, but I would like to breathe in more of God and become more connected and more filled with God's Spirit and grace. And then exhale out, once again contributing in. So as we breathe in deeply this time, as we've done before, we're going to ask you to just raise your hands above your head as you inhale in. And when you exhale out, just let your hands come down slowly in front of you. And once again, inhaling in, raising your hands up above your heads to the heavens. And then when you exhale out, letting your hands come down. We do this one more time, breathing in slowly, deeply, richly. And then when we exhale out, we bring them down. This time when we breathe in, we're going to raise our hands to our sides, almost like we have wings. And when you inhale in, your wings go up and your hands cross above your head. And when you exhale out, you let your wings come down, all the way back down to your sides and cross in front of you. And then we breathe in again and we let our wings fly.